Post 22 in a rematch against Creighton Prep. They beat them 5-2 in Omaha back at the end of June. That was an unfortunate miss for me on that matchup. I was at the ECHL summer meetings in Las Vegas, but heard that the team competed admirably and came from behind to take their 5-2 win. Tad Sherbinsky, one last bump of the Hardhats, and it looks like we are ready to rock and roll. Eric Albury, the left fielder, steps in, a right-handed batter. Sherbinsky, full windup, and the pitch. He shows bunt and drops it to the side of the mound. Sherbinsky fields it, and his toss to first is in time for out number one. We are underway officially at 3:11 this afternoon. We are actually an hour and 11 minutes behind in playing because both of the first two games went on for quite some time. Cam Blossom, the designated hitter, steps in, also a right-handed batter, to take on Tad Sherbinsky. One pitch, one up, and one down. As Sherbinsky looks into Todd Stevens for his sign. Here's his first pitch, and that misses low, 1-0. Post 22, 6-0 in the tournament up to this point, 5-0 in pool play, and they defeated Chippewa Falls. 1-0 pitch, a called strike inside, and it's 1-1 now to Blossom. Creighton Prep went 4-1 in the Edina site as the site champion, and they beat Elk River in this first game of the knockout stage this morning. 1-1 pitch, hit him. And Blossom wears that one, and he'll head to first. That'll bring up Owen Richter, the first baseman. Richter steps in, a right-handed batter, with a man on first and one out. Post 22 in the first game turned one double play. 4-6-3 up the middle, but it allowed a run because it came with the bases loaded. Man on first for Richter. One out, top of a scoreless first inning in the quarterfinal of the Gopher Classic. And the first pitch from Sherbinsky to Richter is low. It's 1-0. Post 22, 53 games now this season. They boast a 44-8 record. Sherbinsky looks over to first. Blossom takes his lead. 1-0. Pitch is swung on, hit foul over the press box. And we're even at a ball and a strike. And we mentioned earlier we have upgraded from the broadcast bungalow to the broadcast press box. Very thankful for the opportunity to luxuriously call this game. Although it was cool having all the parents around. Ball and a strike to count here to Richter. Sherbinsky from the stretch, 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Stevens thought about a throw to first for Blossom, but he held on to it. Ball and two strikes now. Sherbinsky looking for the strikeout. Would be number 32 on the year. He checks down to first, but the throw's not there in time. Time called as Stevens now comes to the mound. He'll have a quick chat with Sherbinsky, most likely about the base runner and Blossom. Maybe about the approach on this 1-2 pitch here to Richter. 1-2 is Richter's count. Man on first, one out here in the top of a scoreless first inning. Quarterfinal action here at the Gopher Classic. Sherbinsky checks the runner. From the stretch, 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit to short. Bowman the stop to second for one, to first for two. Got it! And that's going to end the top half of the first inning. A 6-4-3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on the base path. We've played half an inning of baseball, and Creighton Prep and Post 22 are scoreless in the quarterfinal of the Gopher Classic. We'll be back in 30 seconds with the Hardhats lineup and the Creighton Prep defensive alignment on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Well, the Hardhats now transition from defense to offense, and they will take on the right-handed Nate Witkowski of Creighton Prep. Here's how the Hardhats order looks against Creighton Prep's right-hander. Leading off is number 13, Connor King, patrolling center field. Batting second is number 21, Matt Hegre, in the hot corner at third base. Batting third, number 22, the hero of the first game at one point, Cooper Bowman, playing at shortstop. And in the cleanup position is number 23, Jack Sorensen, out at first base. Batting fifth is number 30, Jace Caldwell, serving as the designated hitter for post 22. Batting sixth is number 15, Zach Sumption, patrolling right field. Batting seventh is number 18, Alex Weaver, patrolling left field. Batting eighth is number 17, Todd Stevens, inserted into the action here for Game 2 of today's doubleheader. And rounding out the batting order in the ninth spot for the Hardhats is number 12, Mason Messenger, out at second base. Nate Witkowski is on the mound for Creighton Prep, and he will serve as the starting pitcher. He and his right arm are paired up with the catcher in Kalen Protaski. At first is Owen Richter. At second is Noah Payton. At shortstop is Evan Sanders. And in the hot corner at third is P.J. Laux. Left to right in the outfield, Eric Albury, Graham Lorenz, and Nico Saul. Connor King, the only lefty in the order, takes his spot in the leadoff spot. King pitched in relief to end Game 1 and help save some arms for tomorrow, just in case the Hardhats beat Creighton Prep and advance to the semifinal tomorrow morning. His first pitch is inside. 1-0 now to King. King on the season, batting .282. Ball and no strikes his count. Witkowski from the stretch. 1-0, is fouled and turns into a 1-1. Connor King in the Gopher Classic is batting .353 on the tournament. 6 for 17 in 24 plate appearances. He struck out twice. He's walked 5 times here in Minnesota. Ball and a strike to count. And Witkowski deals. Called strike on an off-speed pitch inside. At the knees, it's 1-2. King in Game 1 went 1 for 4 with a walk, a single, 2 runs scored, and he also grounded into a double play, or rather, he flew into a double play. Ball and 2 strikes. And Witkowski's pitch is outside, 2-2 now to King. King on the season has struck out only 22 times, and he's walked 41. The bases on balls lead the Hardhats in that category. 2-2 pitch. Outside, and the count goes full now to the left-handed hitting center fielder for post 22. Matt Hegre and Cooper Bowman scheduled to hit after King. Here in the bottom half of a scoreless first inning, quarterfinal action of the Gopher Classic. Payoff pitch. High and away, ball 4, and there's walk number 42 on the season for Connor King. And that's going to bring us now to Matt Hegre, the third baseman, with the leadoff man on and 1 out. Here in the bottom half of the first. Hegre steps in, a right-handed batter. Witkowski looks into Hegre. First pitch. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball. 0-1. Hegre in Game 1 went 0 for 3. Grounded into a double play, reached on 2 errors, walked twice, and came around to score twice. On the season, batting .328. Check to first, and King is back. Hegre's had a pretty good showing here in the Gopher Classic. He's batting .286 in Minnesota. He's played in every game. The only player, I believe, to play in every game. Maybe Jace Caldwell, the other one. Jack Sorensen, too. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball too far inside. Ball and a strike now to the Hardhats' third baseman. Pitching coming at a premium now in this tournament. Ball and a strike. And the pitch to Hegre. Swung on and fouled off the end of the bat. Goes behind home plate to the backstop. 1-2. Creighton Prep wearing blue tops, white pants. The Hardhats wearing navy blue tops, white pants. Prep has what looks to be like 3 patches on their jerseys as part of their World Series runner-up status from last year. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 on an outside pitch. And that's strikeout number 1 for Witowski. 1 down with Connor King on first. Cooper Bowman. What a game he had to start off the knockout stage. Cooper Bowman went 2 for 4 with a ribby single, a grand slam that completely changed the complexity of the game. And he also walked and came around to score twice. Cooper Bowman batting .600 in Minnesota. First pitch, called strike at his knees. 0-1. Bowman on the season for the Hardhats batting .494. 69 ribbies, 76 runs scored. 60 singles, 15 doubles, 10 triples, 9 home runs. Check to first, not there in time, and Connor King's back. 1 out with King standing on first. Post 22. Scoreless with Creighton Prep here in the bottom of the first inning. 0-1 from Witowski. Pitch is swung on, lined into center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit, and it gets by the center fielder. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Bowman rounds for second. He's going to try and go for 3. Connor King gets the green light. He's going to come in and score. Cooper Bowman slams the brakes at third. Almost went home. My goodness, that is a colossal E8. And post 22 for a 7th consecutive game has a 1-0 lead. There will be no run batted in, charged to Bowman, who reaches on a 3-base error. Oh, they're calling it a single because it dropped down. They're going to call it a single, and then 2 bases allows him to advance, and the run comes in. Man on third, 1 out. Here's Jack Sorensen. First pitch swung on, line high in the air to left. That ball has some legs under it. It goes over the head of the left field. They're all burying all the way to the wall. Bowman's going to trot home. Jack Sorensen on second with a 1-out RBI double, and the Hardhats now have a 2-0 lead. Sorensen stands on second. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Hardhats up 2-0, and now Jace Caldwell steps in. 414 on the season is Caldwell, and 474 here in Minnesota. He too has also played in every game of this tournament. First pitch. Missed outside, 1-0. That is 2 errors on center field within 2 games today that have allowed the Hardhats to strike first in the knockout. Connor King, coincidentally, scored on that one as well. 1-0 pitch. That rides upstairs on Caldwell. 2 balls, no strikes. 13 minutes into this ball game, post 22 for a 7th game in a row in this tournament. Strikes first, 2-0 their lead. And in all but one of the games in this tournament, they've scored in the first inning. They feint a motion to second, and Sorensen retreats. 2 balls, no strikes to count here to Jace Caldwell. Post 22 looking to punch a ticket into the semifinal tomorrow morning. 2-0. Swung on, pulled foul. Just shy of the Hardhats dugout, 2-1. So Cooper Bowman got a single, advanced 2 bases on the E8. Connor King scores all the way from first on the sequence. Because of the error, Cooper Bowman does not get an RBI. So we'll just note that a run scored on the sequence. 2-1 the count to Caldwell. Wachowski looks to second, and he deals. 2 low and inside, 3-1. Zach Sumption on deck, looking to keep this train rolling for post 22. 2 runs, a pair of hits, no errors for the Hardhats. No runs, no hits, an error for Creighton Prep. 3-1. Swung on, ball's flared, opposite field into right center, and the ball drops for a hit. Sorensen's going to tag up and go to third. And then Caldwell goes to second on the throw. Heads up base running for Jace Caldwell, who'll get a single and advance to second on the throw. And post 22 has 2 men in scoring position and 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And Zach Sumption comes up. Sumption went 0 for 3 in game 1 today with a pair of strikeouts, a reach on an error, 3 runs scored, also walked twice. Sumption batting just over 100, though, in Minnesota at 118. It's been a rough trip for him. First pitch, a called strike. And it's 0-1. Sumption's batting .285 on the season. Peaks and valleys for Sumption. He started off very slow and then heated up in the month of June and the early stages of this month. Cooled off a little bit this weekend. 2 men in scoring position for Sumption. And his 0-1 misses low and away. He lays off of it, and it's a ball and a strike. Jace Caldwell is on second. Jack Sorensen is on third. With 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and the Hardhats up 2-0. Witkowski steps back on the rubber, trying to limit the damage here. Hardhats already up 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. Sumption, 2 men in scoring position. Looks at a 1-1. And that's high and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Witkowski taking his time. Trying to throw off the batter's rhythm. Maybe trying to catch the base runners asleep at the switch. 2 balls and a strike, the count to Sumption. And Witkowski deals. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Sumption on the season struck out 37 times, and he has walked 23. 2 men in scoring position for him here. Two balls, 2 strikes the count. And Witkowski deals. Swung on and just fouled off. And the count holds even at 2-2. Sumption with runners in scoring position, batting .277. You'd like to see that average hover a little more around 300, but .277 is nothing to shake a finger at. 2-2 still his count. Sumption battling here. Witkowski now on 24 pitches after this throw. 2-2. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right center field. Ball has some legs under it, then it dies shy of the foul line, fence, excuse me. It's caught on the play by Saul. Coming in to score Sorensen, advancing to third, Caldwell. Post 22, thanks to the sac fly RBI from Sumption, now has a 3-0 lead. 2 outs and a man 90 feet from giving the Hardhats a 4th run. That'll bring up Alex Weaver. Weaver batting .293 with runners in scoring position on the year. Batting .308 coming into this matchup. Weaver in game 1 went 1 for 3, reached on an error, doubled, knocked in a run, scored twice, and he walked twice. First pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to left field. It's got some legs on it, some distance towards the fence, and able to make the catch on the play is Eric Albury, and that'll put an end to the bottom half of the first. Well, the Hardhats strike first for a 7th game in a row. It's 3 runs on a trio of hits, 1 error charged to Creighton Prep, and a man stranded 90 feet from scoring. We played 1 inning of baseball, and the Hardhats now have a 3-0 lead for young Tad Sherbinsky on the mound to help defend. I'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the second here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. One inning in the books, and post 22 for a 7th game in a row has jumped out to an early lead. And for a 6th out of 7 games in this tournament has earned their lead in the first inning. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Our official scorer, Thad Caldwell, is helping me do some advanced research here. He's helping us hopefully predict the future because the Hardhats, if they come out with the win in this game, will play either Osseo or Fargo. Osseo played at the Bethel Pool in the tournament.
In the top of the second for Creighton Prep, batting fourth, number 8, second baseman, Noah Payton.
And Fargo came out of St. John's. Noah Payton drops the bunt down the third base line. Hegre fields it on the run. Throw to first is not in time. And it's a bunt single for Noah Payton to lead off. The cleanup man gets the bunt for a hit. Gives Creighton Prep their first hit of the ball game. That'll bring us to the left-handed hitting, Nico Saul, the right fielder. This is the first lefty Sherbinsky's had to face. He checks to first before throwing a pitch, and it's not there in time. Post 22 with a 3-0 lead after one inning. 3 runs, 3 hits on no errors. Creighton Prep now no runs, a hit, and an error. Sherbinsky's first pitch swung on, and the ball is hit into right for a base hit. And Sumption comes in to field it. And that's back-to-back singles to start off this inning. And it'll bring us to Evan Sanders, the shortstop.
Batting sixth, number 14, shortstop, Evan Sanders.
Evan Sanders comes in, a right-handed batter. So we're back to the righty-on-righty matchups here for Creighton Prep against Tad Sherbinsky. Back-to-back hits to start the inning. He shows bunt, but he fouls it. And Sanders starts off 0-1. Sacrifice bunt here, if successfully executed, would put 2 men in scoring position for Creighton Prep with 1 out here in the inning. And a chance to try and cut into this deficit. 3-0 the Hardhats lead after 1 frame of play. Quarterfinal round of the Gopher Classic. The winner will take on either Fargo or Osseo in the semifinal tomorrow morning. 0-1 is swung on, chopped. Here comes Sherbinsky to field. Throw to first is Messenger, and he got on the bag for the out. Messenger came over to field it. There was almost a miscue between Sorensen and Sherbinsky on who would field the ball. Messenger came over, and that'll be a 1-4 sacrifice. And that'll advance both men to scoring position. And that'll bring up Kalen Protaski, the catcher. Kalen Protaski, also a righty. The 7th batter in the order. 2 men in scoring position. The Hardhats 3-0 lead as of right now in jeopardy. A bunt hit and a single to right for Creighton Prep started off the inning. 2 men in scoring position, 1 out. First pitch, a called strike right down the pipe from Sherbinsky, and it's 0-1. Sherbinsky looks into Stevens for his sign. Plate defense, crucial here in this scenario with 2 men in scoring position for Stevens. 0-1 pitch, called strike once again down the pipe, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes the count here to Protaski. Sherbinsky looking for his first K of the start. It would be a huge second out here in the top of the second. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and just fouled. And the count will hold at 0-2. Sherbinsky working on his 15th pitch. He only needed 9 in the first inning to get out of it. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 pitch. Missed outside. It's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes the count. Sherbinsky against Protaski. Deals a 1-2. Swung on, balls lined into right field. Sumption underneath it. Gets the catch. 2 outs. And they throw it into the infield, and a run will come in to score. Sac fly RBI for Kalen Protaski. And now the Hardhats lead is at 3-1 with 2 outs and a man on second. Here in the top of the second. So Creighton Prep on the board now. Staying at second was Saul, as Sherbinsky's throw came in And he wasn't even looking to the play at the plate. He made a smart move to limit the runner to second, even though he's in scoring position, make it a little bit harder for him. Give an extra base to run through. P.J. Laux looks at a first pitch ball upstairs. 1-0. Laux, the third baseman, also a right-handed batter. Shabinski's only seen the one lefty, and that's Saul, who stands on second. 2 outs, top of the second. Now the Hardhats lead at 3-1. 1-0 pitch. Missed at the letters. 2 balls, no strikes. Post 22 has already beaten Creighton Prep once, 5-2 on their field in their tournament last month. There's a come-from-behind win with Creighton Prep up 2-0. 2-0. Fastball misses up high. 3 balls, no strikes. Tad Shabinski in his third appearance in this tournament. He has earned his keep this weekend. 3 balls, no strikes to Laux. And the pitch. Called strike. 3-1. 3 balls and a strike to Laux with 2 outs, top of the second. There's a man on second. Creighton Prep is on the board now with Hardhats leading 3-1. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. And the count goes full. Tad Shabinski, the younger brother of former Hardhats standout and ace Colton Shabinski. Colton also coaching the Expos this summer as he recovers from Tommy John. Payoff pitch misses low and away, ball 4. And Laux will walk with 2 outs. Men on first and second. That'll bring up Graham Lorenz, the center fielder. Batting in the 9 hole, so when we're done with him, it's back to the top for Creighton Prep.
Number 9, center fielder, Graham Lorenz.
Lorenz with men on first and second. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Shabinski's first pitch. He shows bunt. He drops it. It's fair. Shabinski fields it, and he'll eat it. A 2-out bunt single, and that'll load the bases up for Creighton Prep. Keep the inning going, and back to the top of the order we go to Eric Albury, the left fielder.
Number 3, left fielder, Eric Albury.
Albury 0 for 1. Tried the bunt. Rounded out right to Shabinski. 3 bunts attempted by Creighton Prep. Only 2 of them landed. First pitch is low. Stevens gets the block and locates it at home plate. 1-0 to Albury. Ball and no strikes to count. There is nowhere to put Albury. If they walk him, it's a 3-2 Hardhats lead. 1-0, swung on, ball hit to second. Messenger, the easy stop between his legs, throw to first in time, and that'll end the threat. Creighton Prep ends up getting a run on 3 hits. No errors charged to the Hardhats. Bases left loaded. We've played an inning and a half of baseball. Post 22 had a 3-0 lead. Now it stands at 3-1 as they come back on the offensive. Todd Stevens, Mason Messenger, Connor King at the top are slated to hit when we return on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Nate Wachowski back on the mound for Creighton Prep. He'll take on Todd Stevens, Mason Messenger, and then Connor King back at the top of the order. Post 22 has a 3-0 lead here in the bottom half of the second inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Hardhats, and a run on a pair of hits, and an error for Creighton Prep. Todd Stevens batting .429 in Minnesota. He is 3 for 7 on the tournament, on the year batting .365. He rotates with Ryan Schmidt in doubleheader scenarios, and he gets the nod here in game 2. Stevens shows bunt, dropped it down the third baseline, but it goes foul. And he starts off 0-1. Stevens taking a page out of the Creighton Prep book. Creighton Prep has tried to drop 3 bunts, and twice they've been successful for hits. Actually, they've dropped them 4 times, once for a sacrifice, once was an out to lead off the entire ball game. The other 2 were hits. So 4 bunts attempted by Creighton Prep here in the first 2 innings. 0-1 to Stevens. Swung on and missed. And it's 0-2 now to the hard hat catcher. Mason Messenger on deck, Connor King in the hole. Hard Hats looking to expand on a 3-1 lead. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's a fastball high and away. Count goes to 1-2 now to Stevens. One ball and 2 strikes the count. Stevens leading off the bottom of the second. Witkowski from the stretch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. It was a half swing and a miss for Stevens. That'll be strikeout number 2 for Witkowski. 1 up, 1 down, and that's going to bring us to Mason Messenger. Messenger in game 1 today went 2 for 2, had a sac fly RBI, a 2-run RBI single, a triple, a walk, and a run scored. Empty base path, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. And Messenger's first pitch skips low. It's 1-0. Messenger on the year batting just under 300 at 297. And Messenger on the tournament batting 364. Ball and no strikes the count to Messenger. Empty base path, 1 out. And the 1-0 swung on, and it's lined right to the first baseman, Richter, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Messenger going opposite field with that strike. Richter makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down for the Hard Hats. Back to the top we go to Connor King.
Number 13, center fielder Connor King.
Connor King walked, and then he scored from first all the way on an error from the center fielder, Graham Lorenz. And as we were mentioning earlier, that's 2 games in a row today, where in the first inning there's an error on the center fielder, and it knocks in Connor King. First pitch is fouled at the plate. 0-1. King drew his 42nd walk of the season and his 6th of the tournament back in the bottom of the first. 3-1, the Hard Hats up. Empty base path, 2 outs for King. Bottom of the second. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's flared, high in the air, towards the left side of the infield. Sanders at short, there to make the catch. And that will put an end to the second inning. Hard Hats go down 1-2-3 fashion, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. 2 innings of baseball in the books. Post 22 still has a 3-1 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the third. Tad Sherbinsky will take on 2, 3, and 4 in the order when we return on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. For those Rapid City Rush fans tuning in to this game this afternoon, we're announcing a brand new player this week who is a former divisional adversary of the Rush. So he is the first brand new player we've announced. The other 4 prior, Garrett Klotz, Josh Helms, Shaquille Marasti, Braden Sherbin, and they are all returning players to the Rush roster. So be on the lookout for that announcement later this week. Tad Sherbinsky back to it for Post 22 here in the top of the third. Cam Blossom, the DH. Owen Richter, the first baseman. Noah Payton, the second baseman. Slated to hit at 2, 3, and 4 in the Creighton Prep order. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Hardhats in the driver's seat heading into the top of the third. For Creighton Prep now at the sticks, a run on 2 hits with an error. Blossom's first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Blossom's 1-0 pitch is fouled off, and that'll even things up at a ball and a strike. Now, the last time Blossom was here at 1-1, he was pelted by a pitch. That is one of only 2 free base runners Sherbinsky has surrendered in this start. 1-1, misses low and away, 2 balls and a strike. Sherbinsky has a walk and a hit by pitch. No strikeouts just yet. 2-1 the count, and Sherbinsky's pitch. Rides upstairs at the letters, it's 3-1. Sherbinsky is a pitch away from surrendering a second walk. Here is the 3-1. Called strike on the outside corner, a fastball, and the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, count goes full. Here's the payoff pitch from Sherbinsky. Check swung off the bat. Cam Blossom looked like he was going to try and dodge away from the pitch, and it hit his bat instead. A check kind of across the plate. Payoff pitch number 2. Swung on, ball's lined into left field, and that'll drop for a base hit. Weaver comes into field and gets it to Bowman, and that'll be a leadoff single for Cam Blossom. 3rd hit of the ball game for Creighton Prep. Owen Richter, the first baseman, now comes up. Richter grounded into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. Goes back in the top of the first. Second double play the Hardhats have turned today, and his first pitch is high and away. 1-0. Post 22 up 3-1 here in the top of the third. Man on first with no one out. Sherbinsky checks the man on first. He's about to throw his 35th pitch. And the 1-0 is a called strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Ball and a strike to Richter, with Blossom leading off at first. Breeze starting to come in, and it actually feels really good here at the field. 1-1 pitch misses low and away, and it's 2-1. This is beautiful baseball weather here, folks. 83 degrees, sun, a little bit of cloud cover, clear blue skies. 2 balls and a strike to count. And Sherbinsky's 2-1. Rides upstairs, ball 3. Check to first from Stevens, not there in time. It'll be 3-1 with a man on first, and Sherbinsky's a pitch away from surrendering his second walk. But men on first and second with no one out if it's ball 4. Sherbinsky from the stretch, looks over to first. Here's the 3-1. Swung on, ball's fouled. And the count goes full now for Richter. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sherbinsky looks over to the man on first. That's Richter. Excuse me, that's Blossom. He throws his payoff to Richter, and that's a walk. Men on first and second with no one out. That's going to bring us to Noah Payton, the second baseman, and Coach Clapridge is going to come out and have a quick word with his righty. If Post 22 wins this matchup, they will play against the winner of either Osseo or Fargo. Both teams 5-1 at the moment. They went 4-1 in their pools, and they won their first matchups of bracket play. Osseo came out of the Bethel pool, and Fargo out of the St. John's pool. Semifinals will be played at Excelsior tomorrow, with the championship to follow after both semifinal matches are played. We'll have more details as we go throughout this ball game here. No outs, men on first and second. Noah Payton, the cleanup man, is up. Payton bunted for a hit the last time he was up. Sorensen in to field the bunt. It's dropped down the third base line. Sherbinsky field, tossed to third, is not in time. And safe is Blossom. Richter to second, Peyton to first with no one out. That'll be a fielder's choice that allows Peyton to stay safe and load the bases. Tad Sherbinsky in quite the jam here. 3-1 the Hardhats lead. It's in jeopardy with the lefty Nico Saul up. He is singled. First pitch, a called strike. It's 0-1. Fastball in the outside corner. 5 bunts attempted by Creighton Prep in this game. Next pitch, swung on line right up the middle. That's a base hit. 1 run's going to come in to score. King gets the throw in, and it's blocked by Todd Stevens. Only 1 run comes out of it. Howitzer up the middle, an RBI single for Saul. And with no outs and every base still occupied, Creighton Prep is within striking distance. It's 3-2.
Number 14, shortstop, Evan Sanders.
Evan Sanders, the shortstop, now comes up. He dropped a sacrifice bunt the last time he was up. Sherbinsky, first pitch, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. 3-2 now's the Hardhats lead. Oh, 0-1 the count. Sherbinsky's pitch. Low, blocked by Stevens. Everybody stays put. Ball and a strike. Saul on first, Peyton on second, Richter on third. Sherbinsky working on his 45th pitch. This is his 3rd appearance of this tournament. He's seen a lot of action in such a small amount of time. It only comes out to an inning and a third. But Sherbinsky's pitched in some big moments. Next pitch, swung on and missed. 1-2 now to Sanders. Ball and 2 strikes the count. Bases loaded. Sherbinsky needs this 3rd strike for a colossal first out. 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball is hit by a diving Hegre, and it is shallow left for a hit. Cooper Bowman fields it at deep short / shallow left and comes up with it. An RBI single for Evan Sanders, and now we're tied at 3. Still no one out, and the bases loaded. Kalen Petrasky.
Number 11, catcher, Kalen Petrasky.
Petrasky, sac fly RBI under his belt. Bases still loaded, tie ball game. First pitch, down the pipe, a strike. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike the count to Petrasky. Prataski, excuse me. And the 0-1. Breaking ball high and inside, a ball and a strike. B.J. Laux, the 3rd baseman on deck. Whether another run comes in or the Hardhats get the first out, we're unsure of. 1-1 to Prataski. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit sky high in the air. Foul territory. And Stevens will watch it go out in the stands. Ball and 2 strikes. Ball and 2 strikes. Sherbinsky has had 4 2-strike counts in this inning, has been unable to get an out, whether it be a strikeout or a ground out. 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit right up the middle. Messenger the stop to second for 1, to first for 2. Got it. 4-6-3 double play, but it knocks in another run. And now the Hardhats trail 4-3. Saul will go to third. Peyton comes in to score. Big 2 outs with a man on third, and that'll bring up P.J. Laux. Creighton Prep 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits. Laux walked the last time he was up. First pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air. To shallow, right center. Messenger from second underneath it makes the catch, and that will end the inning. Well, Creighton Prep did exactly what it needed to do, and they came right back into this. 3 runs, 3 hits. No errors charged to the Hardhats, and a man stranded on third. We played 2.5 innings of baseball, and Post 22 now trails for the first time today at 4-3. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the third. Hegre, Bowman, and Sorensen to hit here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Heading into the bottom half of the third, Post 22 trails for the first time in this ballgame. 4-3 is now the score. Post 22 started off with a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning. Creighton Prep countered with 1 run in the top of the second and held the Hardhats to a 1-2-3 frame in the bottom of the second. Top of the third, it was 3 runs on 3 hits and no errors to bring Creighton Prep right back into it. Tad Sherbinsky in the inning dealt a walk and allowed 3 hits. An RBI ground into double play helped bring in the go-ahead run. Matt Hegre, Cooper Bowman, Jack Sorensen slated to hit for the Hardhats, looking to advance to the semifinal tomorrow here of this Gopher Classic. They would play either Osseo or Fargo, who are currently duking it out right now. Creighton Prep lost 5-2 to the Hardhats earlier this season in Omaha on their field in their tournament. Hardhats came from behind to win in that one. They'll need to do it again in this game. First pitch to Hegre outside, 1-0. Ball and no strikes the count here to Hegre. Leading off the bottom half of the third. Post 22 trailing 4-3 here in the quarterfinal of the Gopher Classic. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to left center field, and that'll drop for a base hit. Matt Hegre leads off the inning with a single. The tying run is aboard. That's his first hit of the entire day between the round of 16 and the quarterfinal. That'll bring up Cooper Bowman. Bowman 1 for 1. He singled, and he advanced all the way to third on a 2-base error from the center fielder, Graham Lorenz. It knocked in a run, and then he eventually came in to score on the sac fly. Bowman shows bunt, pulls back, and the ball skips away from Protaski. And now Hegre is on second in scoring position for Bowman. Ball and no strikes to Bowman with a chance to knock in a run. Hegre on second. Witkowski still on the mound for Creighton Prep. Looks into Bowman. And the 1-0. Pitch is swung on. Line to short. Caught on the play, and they're going to double up Hegre at second. And a big 2 outs. L6 unassisted double play. And that's going to bring up Jack Sorensen with an empty base path. Unfortunate sequence there for the Hardhats. And now here comes Sorensen, who's 1 for 1 in this ball game with a double. First pitch. Swung on, ball's lined to short again, and it's snagged on the play by Sanders. And that's twice that he has been on target at short. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on the base path for the Hardhats. We've played 3 innings of baseball, and they trail Creighton Prep by a 4-3 score. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top half of the fourth. The Jays back to the sticks when we return on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hard Hats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Nate Witkowski got out of that inning in just 5 pitches. Tad Trubinsky's at 51 through the first 3 innings of play. 9 pitches in the first inning, 17 in the second, 25 in the third. This is Tad Trubinsky's game to take over and try and help not only the Hard Hats get to the semifinal round, but when they do, ensure that they have enough pitching to be able to compete. Trubinsky came into this matchup for his 16th appearance of the season and just his 3rd start. This is his 3rd appearance of the Gopher Classic. Up until now, he didn't give up a run in the 2 appearances prior in an inning and a third. That will now since change. Creighton Prep will send 9-1-2 up to hit. Graham Lorenz, the center fielder, who reached on a bunt single. Eric Albury back at the top of the order. And Cam Blossom, the DH. First pitch. And Lorenz rips it foul down the first baseline. It's 0-1. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. And as always, stream live on Hardhats-TV. 0-1 pitch, misses low and away, and the count will even up to a ball and a strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That misses low and away, a fastball. It's 2-1 now to Lorenz. Graham Lorenz 1-for-1 with a bunt single. And it's 2-1. Fastball missed at his letters. It's 3-1. Trubinsky's issued 2 walks, and he's hit a batter. And it's 3-1 is swung on, and it's hit to second. Messenger, the stop between his legs, and his throw to first is in time. So Trubinsky avoided his 3rd walk. Gets a crucial first out to start off the inning. That will bring us back to the top of the order to Eric Albury, who is 0-for-2 with a bunt attempt, ground out to the mound, and a ground out to second with the bases loaded to end the 2nd inning. First pitch, a called strike right on the outside corner, a fastball. 0-1. Empty base path for Albury. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Hard Hats trailing 4-3. 0-1. Swung on. Ball's hit sky high in the air to the left side of the infield. Bowman at the shortstop position snags it. 2 up, 2 down. On 7 pitches. Cam Blossom, the designated hitter, up. No one on, 2 out. Blossom 1-for-1 with a single, a run scored, and a hit by pitch. He's been on base twice. First pitch is a breaking ball low and away, 1-0. Ball and no strikes the count. Here's Trubinsky's 1-0. Called strike on a fastball inside. It's 1-1. One pitch now to Blossom. Too far inside, 2 balls and a strike. Tad Trubinsky thought it was strike 2. The umpire disagreed. He might have had a case. That was close. 2-1 pitch. Just missed outside, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike the count. Trubinsky hoping to end this 1-2-3 fashion. Here comes the 3-1 to Blossom. Called strike on the outside corner, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to the Creighton Prep DH. Here comes the payoff to Blossom. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air. Bowman's going to come in from short to field it on top of the mound. He makes the catch, and that's going to end it. A 1-2-3 inning for the Hard Hats and for Tad Trubinsky on the mound. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played exactly half the ball game, 3.5 out of 7 innings. And the Hard Hats still trail by 1. It's 4-3, Creighton Prep. We'll take a step aside, and when we come back, Chase Caldwell, Zach Sumption, and Alex Weaver will hit. here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 is just shy of an hour played into this ball game, and we're at the halfway point between Creighton Prep and the Hardhats in their quarterfinal matchup of the Gopher Classic. At halftime of the ball game, if you will, Creighton Prep has the lead at 4 runs, 6 hits, and an error. And the Hardhats, 3 runs on 4 hits with no errors. Mark Minetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Nate Wachowski is back to take on 5, 6, and 7 in the Hardhats order. And Jace Caldwell, the DH, Zach Sumption, the right fielder, and Alex Weaver, the left fielder. Caldwell 1 for 1. He singled back in the bottom of the first. Was stranded at third. How crucial is that run now with the Hardhats trailing by 1? Wachowski from the stretch. First pitch is swung on, and it's chopped to short. Sanders gets the stop on the hop, and his throw to first is in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on offense. Now brings us back to Zach Sumption, who was credited with a sac fly RBI back in that bottom half of the first, in which the Hardhats got 3 runs on 3 hits to jump out to a 3-0 lead. Creighton Prep since has owned the offense with 4 unanswered runs scored in the second and third. First pitch to Sumption. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. Sumption, normally an aggressive batter, likes to swing at that first pitch. Good to exercise some patience there, understanding the situation that at the midway point of the game, your team's down. You need to see all the pitches you can. 1-0. Swung on and missed. And the count evens up now at a ball and a strike. 1-1 now for Sumption. An empty base path and 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Post 22 trailing 4-3 to their arch Central Plains regional rivals, Creighton Prep. 1-1 pitch is ripped to short by the glove of Sanders and in a shallow left. Sumption is on first. They're going to actually rule that an E6.
Number 18, left fielder, Alex Weaver.
Here comes Alex Weaver now. We're having a debate on the scoring. I would personally lean more towards the hit. Weaver's first pitch is in the dirt. Sumption's going to take off for second as it gets away from the catcher, Protaski. Sumption will advance on the pass ball, and I think they're going to credit him with the hit after all. Weaver has a 1-0 count, 0 for 1 on the ball game with a fly out to left. And now a man in scoring position, and that man happens to be the tying run. And they'll take a step aside, Wachowski off the mound. Weaver looks down the third base line for some last words of wisdom from head coach Kelvin Torvey. Wachowski looks to second. Sumption leads off. And the 1-0 misses low. 2 balls, no strikes to Weaver. Alex Weaver on the tournament batting .385. He has had a fantastic stay here in Minnesota. Overall in the season, came into the game batting just over .300 at .308. Weaver with runners in scoring position, batting just under .300 at .293, so a decently favorable scenario for him with a man on second and only 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Check to second, Sumption's back. And it'll remain a 2-0 pitch coming towards Alex Weaver when it does come. Todd Stevens is on deck. He is the second of 2 strikeouts issued by Wachowski in the start. 2-0 to Weaver. Swung on and turned foul, but out of play. 2-1. Now the count to the hard hat left fielder. Hard Hats trailing in their quarterfinal matchup of the Gopher Classic to their arch Central Plains regional rivals. Creighton Prep, 4-3's the score. Tying run, Zach Sumption is on second. Witowski's going to step off the rubber for 2 seconds, and we'll take some time to think about it. And now that will prompt Kalen Protaski, the catcher, to come to the mound and have a quick chat. Post 22 later this week will take on Sioux Falls East, who they almost had a chance of playing in this first round of the knockout stage. Sioux Falls East lost out, though. 3-2 is their record, and Chippewa Falls ended up going 4-1 in their pool to take over as the site champ. So they'll take on Sioux Falls East twice Thursday night, once Friday, and Friday will be senior night for these Hard Hats. Next pitch is swung on, hit high in the air towards the mound. Witowski gets the catch. It looks like it handcuffed Weaver there, and that'll be an unfortunate second out for post 22. 2 down with the tying run on second. Here comes Todd Stevens with a chance to tie the ball game up. Good news for Stevens is that he's batting 1,000 with runners in scoring position here in Minnesota. Overall in the tournament, batting .429. Stevens has played in just under half the games played in this tournament. First pitch. Swung on and check swung foul to the fence behind home plate. 0-1 to Stevens. Stevens struck out on a halfway swing on a 1-2 count to lead off the bottom half of the second. Nate Witowski working on his 48th pitch of the start. Here in the bottom of the fourth. 0-1. Hit him. And Todd Stevens is going to take a trot to first. First hit batter for Witowski in this start. That'll keep the inning going with 2 outs. Men on first and second. Here comes Mason Messenger with a chance to try and knock in Zach Sumption from second. And advance Todd Stevens past second. Messenger batting .400 on the tournament with runners in scoring position. 2 outs, bottom of the fourth. The Hard Hats trail by 1. Sumption on second, Stevens on first. First pitch is chopped foul, third base side. 0-1. If there's anything Messenger knows how to do, it's battle. He can go deep into counts. He can perpetuate at bats with 2 strikes, just fouling off pitch after pitch, frustrating the pitcher so he can get something to drive. 0-1 the count to Messenger. Witowski looks around the diamond to first and second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball, and it gets away from the catcher in Protaski, and everybody's going to advance. Stevens to second. Sumption 90 feet away from tying the ball game up. Messenger behind 0-2. If there is any silver lining to that scenario for Creighton Prep and Nate Witowski on the mound, it's that he's a strike away from getting out of this. Stevens on second. Sumption on third. A solid hit of the ball. The Hard Hats could have the lead back. Down 4-3 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Oh, foul, just fouled. And the count will hold at 0-2. Very hard sometimes to hear the tink off the bat, especially with these BB cores. Still 0-2. Messenger stays alive. Going back to what I said earlier, he knows how to battle. Witowski from the stretch. A deep breath. 0-2 pitch. Check swing, low and away. He didn't cross. It's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes now, the count to Messenger. Witowski still has a couple of pitches to play with here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Low and away. No! Caught him looking. Strike 3. Oh, my goodness. That ball looked like it was just about off the dirt. And they called Messenger out on strikes. And that will end The Hardhats scoring threat. No runs on a hit, no errors. And the tying and go-ahead runs left in scoring position. 4 innings in the books. Creighton Prep still with a 4-3 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the 5th inning. Tad Sherbinski out to continue his start when we return on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Mason Messenger got very unlucky on a called third strike, which, talking with the minds up here in our press box, it was just about an inch off the dirt and right at his shoelace, and they called strike 3. On a 1-2 count, the tying run 90 feet to his left, the go-ahead run across from him on the diamond. But now the Hardhats have to put that out of their memory and get right back to the grindstone. Here in the top of the 5th. 4-3, the Creighton Prep lead. 3, 4, and 5 in the order, slated to face Tad Sherbinski in his 5th inning of the start. Owen Richter, 0 for 1, grounding into a double play, walking and scoring a run. And his first pitch is a breaking ball outside. It's 1-0. Richter, Peyton, and Saul, the lefty, slated to hit. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Fastball upstairs, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes to count to Richter. And the pitch. Swung on, turned, just foul, left field side. 2-1. Richter leading off the top of the 5th here for Creighton Prep. Prep has 4 runs on 6 hits and an error, and the Hardhats have 3 runs on 5 hits with no errors. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet here on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 against their arch Central Plains regional rival here in the quarterfinal round of the Gopher Classic. Second meeting between these teams this year. And the 2-1 is upstairs, 3 balls and a strike. Owen Richter, the first baseman, leading off the top half of the 5th. Tad Sherbinski's next pitch will be number 69. Here comes the 3-1. Swung on, ball's hit sky high in the air to shallow left. Cooper Bowman, the shortstop, gives way to Alex Weaver in left, and he comes down with the routine catch. 1 up, 1 down for Creighton Prep. And that'll bring us to Noah Payton. Dating back to a 4-6-3 double play in the top half of the 3rd, Tad Sherbinski has retired 6 in a row. 4-6-3 double play to Protaski. P.J. Laux a pop out to second. Graham Lorenz a ground out to second. 2 pop outs to short for Alberry and Blossom, and now the fly out to left for Richter. Payton's first pitch misses low and away on a check swing, and he didn't go. 1-0. Payton is 1 for 2 with a bunt single, a reach on a fielder's choice, and a pair of runs scored. His most recent run is the potential game winner here for Creighton Prep. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, 2-0. Post 22 faithful, wanting some clarification on the umpire strike zone, and that's why I do not envy his position at all. I feel just fine up here with a headset on. 2-0 pitch, ripped right past the glove of Sherbinski. Nice diving stop by Messenger, but he dropped the ball and couldn't field it. And that's unfortunately an error on Messenger despite his best effort. First error of the ball game for post 22. And that'll bring us to Nico Saul, the left-handed hitting right fielder and the only lefty that the righty in Sherbinski's had to face. Man on first with one out. You have to hope the error doesn't come back to bite the Hardhats. Already down by a run, and they haven't had any opportunities outside of the last inning to try and tie the game up. First pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right field. Sumption's on his horse. That ball's going to drop to the fence and go all the way to the wall. Sumption fields it, and he tosses it into Messenger. And into second with a one-out double is Saul. Advancing to third is Peyton, and it'll be men on second and third with one out. And bring up Evan Sanders, the shortstop.
Number 14, shortstop, Evan Sanders.
That ball that Peyton hit was lined right by the glove of Sherbinski. Messenger made a fantastic sliding stop, but he couldn't come up with the ball to throw it. Otherwise, it'd be two down and not as nerve-wracking. The infield is in for post 22. Sanders 1 for 1 with a sac bunt and an RBI single. He looks at a first pitch ball. It's 1-0. Now, if he walks, that will load the bases, and the Hardhats would have the double play back in effect to end the inning. 1-0 pitch, a called strike right down the pipe. Nice fastball from Sherbinski. It's 1-1. You would hate to give up the walk because that's a bases-loaded scenario, but if there's a silver lining, there's a force all around you. 1-1. Swung on and missed on the breaking ball. Sanders way ahead of it. It's 1-2. Sherbinski has yet to strike out an opposing batter. He's a pitch away from doing so in this matchup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch, swung on, ball's hit to short. Bowman gets the stop. They're going to go for the play at the plate. And down the third baseline, the runner's caught in a rundown, and Stevens didn't get the tag, and now they did. No, they're saying he did get the tag. So who got it? And they're giving it to Stevens. Advancing to second on the sequence of Sanders on the fielder's choice. Peyton was thrown out going home, and Saul will go to third. Ball was hit to Bowman. Bowman got it to Stevens. That'll be a 6-2. And now the head coach of Creighton Prep trying to speak with our umpire about it, and they're saying he got the tag. Either way, I think Sherbinski may have gotten it too before he touched home, so in my estimation, he's out twice. But they're going to give the tag anyway to Stevens, so relevant at that point. 2 outs, a big run save, but now the Hardhats need to get this final out. Kalen Protaski, the catcher, is up. A sac fly RBI, a 4-6-3 double play, also knocked in a run. So he's knocked in 2 runs, but he's been retired both times. And his first pitch is low and away. Stevens gets the block. He lost control of the ball. Stevens can't find it, and now he finally does. And the Hardhats dodge a bullet there, 1-0. Nico Saul is on third. Evan Sanders is on second. 1-0 the count. Stevens couldn't find the ball. Sherbinski looking and working on a 79th pitch. 1-0 to Protaski. Pitch is swung on, drilled foul down the left field line. Ball and a strike now the count. Ball and a strike now the count to the Creighton Prep catcher. If he's retired, the Hardhats will get out of this inning unscathed, down 4-3, going into the bottom of the 5th with the top of the order slated to hit. Ball and a strike the count. Sherbinski deals. Called strike. Right at the belt of Protaski. It's 1-2. Sherbinski still has yet to strike out a batter. This would be a glorious opportunity to do so right here. 1-2 to Protaski. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, first base side. Sorensen underneath it makes the catch. And that strands 2 runners in scoring position, and the Hardhats get out of it alive. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 error, charged to Mason Messenger. And 2 men stranded on the base path in scoring position. We have played 4.5 innings of baseball. And post 22 still trails 4-3. We'll be right back with the bottom of the fifth here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Just been told by Thad Caldwell, who's acting as my researcher here in these knockout games, that Excelsior has become the first team to advance to the Final Four. Earlier today, they defeated St. Louis Park 8-0, and then they just defeated Omaha Scott by an 8-0 score. So Excelsior going into the Final Four unscathed, that seems like a pretty tough task. Post 22 back to the offensive here in the bottom of the fifth. They just got out of a colossal jam in the top half of the fifth, twice with 2 men in scoring position, and twice they got out of it. Connor King, Matt Hegre, Cooper Bowman at the top of the order, slated to hit here in the bottom half of the fifth. Creighton Prep up 4-3 in the quarterfinal of the Gopher Classic. Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. First pitch to King, a called strike down the pipe. It's 0-1. Nate Witowski still on the mound for Creighton Prep, working on his 55th pitch of the start. 0-1 to King. Missed low. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. 4-3, Creighton Prep leads. 7 hits and an error for them. The Hardhats, 3 runs, 5 hits, and an error. 1-1 to King. Too far inside. 2-1. King, Hegre, and Bowman scheduled to hit in the inning. Just started off the bottom half of the fifth. 2-1. Misses low. Count goes to 3-1 now for King. He's already walked once in this game. He's 0 for 1. Popped out to short the last time he was up to end the bottom half of the second. Came around to score, though, on a 3-base error the last time he came up. 3-1. Called strike on the outside corner, and the count goes full. Nice fastball there from Wachowski. Big payoff pitch coming up to King. He's already walked on one of those earlier in this ballgame. Here comes the 3-2. Low and inside, ball 4. And King gets his 43rd walk of the season and his second of this ballgame. And to go even further, his 3rd of the day. Matt Hegre now comes up. Hegre's 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single. Hegre was caught out in an L6 unassisted double play. Sanders caught a line drive and then nonchalantly touched the bag with Hegre about 20 feet, 30 feet off of it. First pitch. He shows bunt, pulls back. The ball gets away, though, from the catcher, Protaski. But King hangs on at first. 1-0, the count to Hegre. Ball and no strike, the count. Wachowski looks into Hegre, checks King over at first. Here's the 1-0. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on, and it's missed, and it goes all the way to the backstop. And King steals second. Ball and a strike now, the count to Hegre. The hit and run was on. And now the tying run with no outs is 180 feet away from coming in to score. Coach Torvey gives the signals to Hegre. King leads off a second. Wachowski gives him a look. 1-1 to Hegre. Breaking ball low and away. It's 2-1. Post 22 trails the quarterfinal to Creighton Prep, their arch regional rival, 4-3. Here in the Gopher Classic. If they win, they go to the Final Four tomorrow morning against the winner of Osseo and Fargo. If they lose, they go home. We're in the bottom of the fifth, no outs, and Connor King, the tying run, is on second. 2 innings in a row, Post 22 has a tying run in scoring position. 2-1 to Hegre. This is low and away, 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count to Witowski, who's now at 63 pitches. This game is now at 1 hour and 20 minutes. And it started 1 hour and 11 minutes late. Bottom half of the 5th inning. And it's 4-3 Creighton Prep. Time called as Witowski takes a while to get a sign, so Hegre calls time and steps out. A lot of pageantry back and forth between both of these pitcher and batter scenarios. Here's the 3-1. Swung on, ball's hit weakly to the left side of the infield. King is checked at second, and the throw to first is low, and then it gets bobbled. King's going to advance to third. Hegre safe. And that's going to be an E6. Second error. And now Cooper Bowman, of all people, has a chance to tie the ball game up, maybe even more. Every time he's been in a clutch situation where the Hardhats need a run to tie, he's left the ballpark in this tournament. There is a conference on the mound. Creighton Prep coaching the entire infield. The catcher, Protaski, and Wachowski, the pitcher. Cooper Bowman is up with men 90 feet to his left and right. No one out in the bottom of the 5th. Hegre reached on the E6, the second error of the ball game, to Creighton Prep. Connor King walked for a 43rd time this season and advanced on the error. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City. Quarterfinal action of the Gopher Classic. Arch regional rivals, the Creighton Prep Jays and the Post 22 Hardhats, going head-to-head. Post 22 beat Creighton Prep in their tournament in Omaha on their field earlier this year. 5-2 was the final, a come-from-behind win. Post 22 is going to have to channel a lot of that in this matchup. Post 22 did start off with a 3-0 lead after 1 inning. Creighton Prep came back with 4 innings over the second and third. 4 runs, over the second and third innings to take the lead. Cooper Bowman in this ball game, 1 for 2. First pitch, inside, 1-0. Now, if Cooper Bowman walks, gets the free pass somehow, you can't fall asleep against Jack Sorensen. 1 for 2 in this game with a double, and he has hit the ball hard. 1-0, breaking ball low and away, it's 2-0. I wouldn't be surprised, given what Creighton Prep knows about Bowman, if this is an intentional walk. If you can put yourself out, fantastic. If not, first base is right there. 2 balls, no strikes to Bowman. Wachowski's pitch. Inside, 3-0. Cooper Bowman a pitch away from loading the bases with no one out. And it would bring up Jack Sorensen, who's already gone for more than a base on his only hit. 3 balls, no strikes. Let's see if Wachowski hits the zone. Low and away, ball 4. And there is the intentional walk to Cooper Bowman. He walks on 4 pitches. Bases loaded, no one out. Jack Sorensen, this is your moment to shine. 1 for 2 with a double in this ball game. Sorensen batting .338 with runners in scoring position, and on the tournament batting .462 in the same scenario. No outs, every base occupied. First pitch. Called strike. Low outside corner. 0-1. No balls and a strike the count here to Sorensen. Witkowski needs an out at the plate so that the double play and a force at every bag can end this inning. Sorensen wants the exact opposite of that. 4-3 the Hardhats trail. Every base occupied. No one out here in the bottom of the fifth. Witkowski's 0-1. Inside, swung on, balls hit to third. And the throw home is in time. They'll get the out at the plate, and the throw to first not in time. So King outgoing home. Hegre to third, Bowman to second, Sorensen to first on the 5-2 fielder's choice. Jace Caldwell. He has a pair of grand slams under his belt this year. And with runners in scoring positions, batting .394 on the year. Bases loaded for Caldwell, now one out. Pressure a little bit relieved here for Creighton Prep. First pitch, low and away, 1-0. Post 22 trailing 4-3. This is their best chance of the entire ball game to try and come back. They had two men in scoring position in the bottom of the fourth, and Messenger struck out looking on a very questionable third strike. 1-0 the count to Caldwell. Witkowski deals. Pitch is swung on. It's hit to the right side of the infield. Stops made on the play. Throw home in time, and that'll be out number 2. A 3-2 fielder's choice as Caldwell is safe. That'll be 2 outs. Sorensen to second, Bowman to third. And Hegre thrown out going home. Zach Sumption just got his first hit of this ball game in his last at-bat. 1 for 1 with a single and a sacrifice fly. He has a run knocked in. Now this is his chance to get the Hardhats level, maybe even give them the lead. 2 outs, bases loaded. Witkowski trying desperately to hang on for Creighton Prep. First pitch, called strike. Outside corner at the knees, it's 0-1 Assumption. Assumption's retired, 8-9-1, slated to hit for Creighton Prep in the top of the 6th. If not, the Hardhats at the minimum will have tied the ball game, and Alex Weaver's on deck. They feign a motion to second, and everybody will reset. No balls in a strike to count. And the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's lined into left field, drops for a base hit. 1 run's going to score. Here comes Sorensen rounding third. He's going to score. A 2-run, 2-out RBI single for Zach Sumption. And the Hardhats are back on top. It's 5-4. Zach Sumption has singled in back-to-back at-bats. That's probably the biggest one he's hit in this tournament. Post 22 back on top with men on first and second. And now Alex Weaver has a chance to try and keep the train rolling. Weaver 0 for 2. Post 22, a 5-4 lead. First pitch. Misses low and away. No, they're calling a balk. And the runners will advance to scoring position now. Caldwell to third and Sumption to second. And now Alex Weaver with a good crack of the bat could knock in 2 more. A crucial miscue for Nate Witkowski on the mound for Creighton Prep. 5-4 now the Hardhats lead. 2 runs on a hit with an error charged to Prep in this inning. Post 22 now up 5-4, bottom of the 5th of our quarterfinal matchup of the Gopher Classic. First runs for Post 22 since the bottom of the 1st. First pitch. Inside, called strike to Weaver. 0-1. No balls and a strike to count to Alex Weaver. Zach Sumption on second. Jace Caldwell 90 feet to his left. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's turned on, but foul. Just a bit ahead on it. 0-2. Todd Stevens, the catcher, is on deck. Alex Weaver, a good crack at the bat. He could extend the Hardhats lead. It's at 5-4 right now. On a 2-out, 2-run RBI single from Zach Sumption. He stands on second. 0-2 to Weaver. Swung on, and it's chopped over the head of the shortstop, but caught in center field by Graham Lorenz, and that's going to end it. Weaver a nice chop at it, but that will end the bottom half of the fifth. 2 runs on a hit, an error charge to Creighton Prep, and 2 runners left in scoring position. Post 22 is back on top after 5 innings of play. 5-4 is their lead. We'll step aside and come right back with 8, 9, and 1 slated to hit for the Jays when we return on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Post 22, a 2-out, 2-run RBI single from Zach Sumption, and the bottom half of the fifth has put them back on top against Creighton Prep. We're now to the top of the 6th inning, and about an hour and 32 minutes, an hour and 31 minutes into the action. And now we go back to Creighton Prep's offense here in the top of the 6th. Hardhats, 5 runs, 6 hits, an error. Creighton Prep, 4 runs, 7 hits, a pair of errors. Tad Sherbinski back on the mound. And his first pitch is a called strike to P.J. Laux, the leadoff man here in the top of the 6th. Laux 8th in the order. The third baseman's 0 for 1 with a walk. Sherbinski takes his time. Here comes his 0-1 pitch. And it's high. Over his head, 1-1. Laux, Lorenz, back to the top to Albury, slated to hit here for Creighton Prep. Full windup for Sherbinski, 1-1 pitch. Called strike, a fastball at the knees of Laux, 1-2. 84 pitches now for Sherbinski, soon to be 85. Multiple 2-strike counts, yet to get that K. Here's his 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit to second. Messenger, the stop between his legs. Throw to first in time. 4-3 in the book, 1 up, 1 down, brings us now to Graham Lorenz, the center fielder of Creighton Prep. I know Sherbinski has multiple times had 2 strikes and hasn't gotten the strikeout, but an out's an out. And 9 times out of 10, he's registered outs with 2 strikes. A lot of ground outs, pop outs, a couple of flies here and there. First pitch to Lorenz, swung on, hit to the left side. Bowman the stop on the hop. Throw to first is in time. What a play by Bowman. And a throw from short. 6-3 in the book, 2 up, 2 down. Back to the top we go to Eric Albury. Lorenz will go to 1 for 3 with his bunt single. Albury's 0 for 3. He's attempted a bunt and grounded out to second with the bases loaded and popped out to short to end the inning. First pitch, called strike inside, it's 0-1. Top of the 6th, 2 outs, an empty base path for Albury. Creighton Prep had a 4-3 lead, now they trail 5-4. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, ball's hit to short. Bowman on the run, gets the stop, throw to first in time, and that's going to end it. A 1-2-3 inning for the second time in this ballgame for Tad Sherbinski. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. Potentially the final offensive outs of the game for Post 22 come up in the bottom half of the 6th. They have the 5-4 lead. We'll be right back on the bottom of the 6th. Todd Stevens, Mason Messenger, Connor King to hit on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Bottom half of the 6th inning now here at North St. Paul, Minnesota. Post 22 playing in a dogfight of a quarterfinal matchup against their arch regional rivals, Creighton Prep. 5-4 is the Hardhats lead. If the score holds, these are the last offensive outs of the ball game for the Hardhats until the 7th inning. Creighton Prep is down 1, so for the Hardhats, this is their last chance as of right now to try and add to their lead. Todd Stevens will lead off for post 22. Shows bunt, pulls back, looks at a ball low in the dirt, 1-0. Stevens 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a hit by pitch. He'll be followed by Mason Messenger, who's 0 for 2, and Connor King, who's 0 for 1 with a pair of walks and a run scored. Nate Wachowski still on the mound for Prep. Next pitch is chopped foul. Mason Messenger had to hit the deck, 1-1. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and on Hardhats-TV on the internet. Winner of this game plays the winner of Osseo and Fargo in the Final Four tomorrow morning at Excelsior. 1-1, hits Todd Stevens again. Second time he's been hit by a pitch by Wachowski, and that'll bring up Mason Messenger. Messenger had the bases loaded and 2 outs the last time he was up in the bottom of the 4th and was called out on a very borderline questionable 3rd strike. Wachowski looks in for a sign. Messenger ready to do battle. Stevens leads off of first. Messenger shows bunt, pulls back, and it's a ball outside. 1-0. Ball and no strikes to Messenger. Stevens on first, no one out, bottom of the 6th. Shows bunt. He drops it down the 3rd baseline. It's fielded on the play by Laux, and his throw to first is in time. Brilliant execution of the sacrifice for Messenger. Todd Stevens 180 feet away from home now. And that brings us back to the top of the order to Connor King. King gives Messenger a fist pump as he comes back to the dugout. A job well done. Connor King now comes up. Wachowski working on 83 pitches. King 0 for 1, a pop out to short, a pair of walks, and a run scored. Stevens leads off a second. And they will feign a motion to second. Wachowski steps off the rubber. Post 22 up 5-4 in this quarterfinal against their arch Central Plains regional rival, Creighton Prep. First pitch. Swung on, fouled. And the count starts off 0-1 for King. The winner of this matchup here in the Elite Eight will play the winner of Osseo and Fargo tomorrow morning. Be interested to see who is going to start tomorrow for the Hardhats. No balls and a strike to King. 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside. 1-1. 5-4 the Hardhats lead. They are 3 outs on defense away from getting the win and taking a 2-0 record against Creighton Prep head-to-head this year. Last 3 offensive outs as of right now. 1-1, low and inside. 2 balls and a strike now to King. Todd Stevens is on second. Hit by pitch got him on the base path. Messenger sacrificed him over. 5 runs, 6 hits, an error for the Hardhats. 4 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Jays. And a check to second. Stevens is back. Catcher's not necessarily known for being speedy, but Stevens can fly for a catcher. Runs track also on top of playing baseball. 2-1 to King. Low and inside. And unable to find the ball was Protaski. 3-1 the count. as Stevens stayed put on second in the sequence. Wachowski looks in, his 88th pitch. The Eric Lindros pitch count for those hockey fans tuning in. Time called by King. Wachowski took a while. So King calls time, and back to it we go. 3 balls and a strike the count. And the pitch to King. Low and inside, ball 4. And for a 3rd time in this game, King walks, and for a 4th time today, he takes a trot to first. 1 out walk puts men on first and second. That'll bring up Matt Haggerty. I'm not too sure whether or not we're going to get a pitching change here or just another conference. As of right now, it looks like just another conference. The entire infield is in. Pitcher and catcher and coach. Connor King's on first. Todd Stevens is on second. Post 22 has a 5-4 lead, and it looks like this will be a pitching change. As a gentleman has come in from the bullpen to take over for Nate Wachowski. You got to credit Wachowski. 5 1/3 innings in this start. 88 pitches for him. Wachowski struck out 3. And he allowed 6 hits and 5 runs. And all of the runs were earned. And Wachowski is done in this start. Wachowski did exactly what he was supposed to do. And it looks like, if I'm seeing this correctly, Cam Blossom, the designated hitter, is going to come in and pitch. So Creighton Prep will lose their DH. It'll be Cam Blossom. And every time there's a pitching change from here on out, unless they decide to keep him in defensively, that is the spot that they will have to substitute in at number 2 in the order. We'll let Blossom warm up. We'll come right back with the final numbers here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Nate Wachowski went 5 1/3 innings for Creighton Prep. And to his credit, he kept them in this ballgame the entire way. Talking with Coach Torvey at this point in the tournament, with so much baseball played in such little time, pitching comes at a premium, and you've got to tip your cap to Nate Wachowski. He pitched a fantastic ballgame for Creighton Prep. Allowed 5 earned runs on 6 hits in 5 1/3, 88 pitches, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 2 hit batters. Matt Haggerty comes up with 1 out, men on first and second. Cam Blossom now takes over on the mound for Creighton Prep. Blossom is a right-handed pitcher. First pitch, Haggerty drops the bunt right in front of the mound. Blossom fields, throw to first is off track. It's not in time, and the ball goes wide. Coming in to score is Stevens, and staying on third is King. The Hardhats have a 6-4 lead. That's going to be an E1. King goes all the way to third. Todd Stevens comes in to score, and it's now a 6-4 Hardhats lead. And now here comes Cooper Bowman with men on the corners. Bowman 1 for 2. A single, a walk, lined into a double play, a pair of runs scored. First pitch, a called strike fastball in the outside corner. It's 0-1. Coincidentally enough, in the top of the 7th, Cam Blossom will lead off for Creighton Prep, followed by Owen Richter, the first baseman, and Noah Payton, the second baseman. Blossom looks to the corners. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air into center field. Underneath it is Lorenz. He makes the catch. Tagging up and coming home is King, and the throw is off track. And the Hardhats on the sac fly to Bowman have a 7-4 lead. 2 outs and a man on first here in the bottom half of the 6th. Post 22 has scored 4 runs in the last 2 innings to retake and expand their lead. Jack Sorensen, potentially the final offensive out for Post 22. Steps in. Blossom looks to first. Runner goes. First pitch is low, and they're going to eat the ball behind home plate. That's Protaski, the catcher. Stevens steals second. It'll be a man in scoring position and a 1-0 count here for Sorensen. 7-4 is the Hardhats lead. Ball and no strikes the count to Jack Sorensen. And the pitch. Swung on, ball's hit to short. Stop made on the play by Sanders. Throw to first in time, and that'll end it. Post 22, 3 outs away from going to the final 4 of the Gopher Classic. They pick up 2 runs on no hits. 1 error charged to Prep, and a man left in scoring position. When we return, the top of the 7th, 2, 3, and 4, the final chance for Creighton Prep. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Cooper Bowman has his number 22 called upon to close this matchup out. If he hangs on for 3 outs and maintains a lead, Post 22 goes to the final 4 of the Gopher Classic against their arch-regional rival Creighton Prep. 7-4 the score after 6 innings of ball as we head now to the top of the 7th. Cooper Bowman takes over for Tad Sherbinsky. How about a job well done for that young man? 6 innings pitched. He allowed 7 hits and 4 runs, all of which were earned. He may not have struck anybody out, but Sherbinsky did exactly what he needed to do. And he went 6 innings and 88 pitches in the start. Because Cooper Bowman is in to pitch, Ryan Bachman will take over at second, and Mason Messenger will shift over to third. For those that say baseball isn't exciting, well, those people don't have a pulse. This in front of us right now is something else. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Cooper Bowman and Post 22 are 3 outs away from the final 4 of the Gopher Classic. They will play the winner of Osseo and Fargo. 7 runs, 6 hits, an error for Post 22. 4 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors for Creighton Prep. Cam Blossom, the designated hitter, steps in. Turned pitcher. He's 1 for 2 with a single, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. And he looks at a first pitch ball. It's 1-0. Here comes the 1-0. Called strike, fastball inside. It's 1-1. Bowman on the season, his 11th appearance in relief, 9 1/3 innings of work, 3-0 and 4 for 4 in save opportunities. 1-1 pitch, a called strike breaking ball in the outside corner. Bowman has struck out 14 and walked 3, and his ERA this year is 0. Here's a 1-2. Pitch misses low and away, and the count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 now to Cam Blossom, will be followed by Owen Richter and Noah Payton, barring any substitutions. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And there's K number 1 for Cooper Bowman in relief, and the Hardhats are 2 outs away from the final 4. Owen Richter now comes up. 0 for 2. Hit into a double play. Flew out to left. Walked and scored a run. 7-4 the Hardhats lead. Bowman, first pitch. Low and away. Fastball. It's 1-0. Ball and no strikes the count. Post 22. 2 outs away from the win over Creighton Prep. They'd play in the Final Four tomorrow morning. 1-0 pitch. Swung on. Ball's fouled. First base side out of play. And the count will even up to a ball and a strike. 1-1 now the count. As post 22 is trying to hang on. They'd play the winner of Osseo and Fargo if they win this matchup. Ball and a strike the count here to Owen Richter. 0 for 2 looking for his first hit. 1-1. Breaking ball called strike. 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Bowman looking for back-to-back Ks. And 2 up, 2 down. Full windup. Here is the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and ripped foul first base side. And the count will hold at 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Cooper Bowman looking for back-to-back Ks. Here's his windup. 1-2 to Richter. Caught him looking. Strike 3. 2 up, 2 down on 2 Ks for number 22. And now the game is on the bat of Noah Payton, the second baseman for Creighton Prep.
Number 8, second baseman, Noah Payton.
Post 22 looking to be the second team to punch their ticket to the playoff, to the Final Four. Here comes Payton. 1 for 3. First pitch, breaking ball missed low. It's 1-0. If the Hardhats hang on, they will take on the Eden Prairie champion tomorrow at 9 a.m. That is Osseo or Fargo. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Called strike. Pitch was dropped. It's 1-1. Payton bunt singled. Reached on a fielder's choice. Reached on an error. He came around to score twice. Post 22 has a 7-4 lead. They're an out away from the Final Four of the Gopher Classic. Bowman, full windup. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Can Bowman go 3 up, 3 down, 3 Ks? He's a pitch away. Noah Payton, the last hope for Creighton Prep. Here's the 1-2 from Bowman. Just missed low. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Post 22 is an out away from the Final Four, and it would come in their second win against Creighton Prep this season. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Payton. Bowman deals. Swung on and chopped down the third base line. It's foul. And Cooper Bowman got there faster from the mound than anybody on the field. And the count holds even at 2-2. If Noah Payton keeps the inning going, then the lefty, Nico Sal, the right fielder's on deck. He is batting 1,000 in this game. A double, a pair of singles, and he's knocked in a run. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Bowman deals to Payton. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and it's fouled again. And Payton stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, still the count. Bowman trying to close it. Bowman takes his time and agrees on a sign, now steps off. 7-4 the Hardhats lead. Bowman a strike away from punching the Hardhats into the Final Four of the Gopher Classic. It's a standoff right now. Here comes the windup. 2-2 to Payton. Misses low in the dirt. Count goes full. This game is 5 minutes away from being 2 hours old. Payoff pitch from Bowman. Can he end it here, or does he see Nico Saul? Full windup. Here comes the payoff pitch. Missed low and away. Ball 4. And the inning keeps going. 2 outs, a man on first. And now here comes Nico Saul.
Number 16, right fielder, Nico Saul.
Saul is 3 for 3. Pair of singles, a double. It's the only lefty Bowman's going to face in this lineup, barring any substitutions. Evan Sanders, the shortstop, on deck if we get that far. First pitch. Called strike. Fastball. Outside corner at the knees of Saul. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike. Peyton on first with the 2-out walk. 0-1 to Saul. Breaking ball outside. It's 1-1. Ball and a strike to count. 7-4, the Hardhats lead. 1 out away. Next pitch is fouled. And now the Hardhats are a strike away once again from going to the Final Four. Ball and 2 strikes to Saul. Saul is the last hope of Creighton Prep. Can Bowman shut the door? 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. And Bowman's pitch to Saul is outside, and it goes off the glove of Stevens. And advancing to second is Peyton. 2-2. Runner in scoring position here for Saul. He can cut into the deficit if he knocks him in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. And Bowman deals. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that ends it. Post 22's going to the Final Four of the Gopher Classic. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner stranded in scoring position for Creighton Prep. And Post 22 wins 7-4 and beats Creighton Prep for a second time this season. 7 runs, 6 hits, and error for the Hardhats. 4 runs, 7 hits, and 3 errors for the Jays. We'll take a step aside, and when we return, we will set the table for tomorrow's action here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV.